So these massive trade centers that Rasulullah SAW grew up on, the ones that he went out and traded for Khadija Anu on, those centers, the ones that his uncle Sayyid ibn Waqas actually showed him how to trade on, those centers, those trails were the Silk Road. They were the Silk Road. The Silk Road has been the cornerstone of the majority of the things that we know of in history. You never hear anybody preaching a great deal of Rwandan history. As African Americans, we don't know a lot about Rwandan history. We start to hear history from Senegal, right? Why? Because a lot of us were sitting there from Gorée Island being thrown on the boat in Senegal. But why? We start thinking about things that happen in Egypt. We hear about things that happen in the Middle East. We hear about things that happen on that path because of the Silk Road. It was the primary way that civilizations traded with one another. It stretched so far and so significant that Sa'id ibn Waqqas actually has a double name. He has a name in Arabic and he has a name in Chinese, in the Hui language, right? Why? Because he brought Islam to China. 6 of the emperor's primary generals took Islam under Sa'id ibn Waqqas while Rasulullah was alive. The second oldest mosque on the planet is in Gwangju, not in Saudi Arabia. It's in Gwangju. It was authorized by the Emperor of China to be built there because Sa'id ibn Waqqas had such a good relationship and because they loved Rasulullah so much while he was alive. And a lot of us don't know that. So when Islam then grew, Islam grew along this road because these were the trade routes. These were the places to give dawah. If you were going to have a Nubian talk to an Arabian, it was going to be on the Silk Road or one of its mating trading posts. When you have here, like in Khargos, this was a major trading port. It's on the border of China and Kazakhstan. This is a traditional Mongolian garb, right? There was a reason why Kublai Khan, the grandson of Genghis Khan, went to some of these Arabs that had lost their mind and had left Islam and were obsessed with things like gold chalices and stuff like that, while he melted their gold down and poured it down their throat and then cracked their bodies open and took it back. He said that he was Allah's revenge on those people who were not following the deen, who had perverted Islam at its core, right? That was Kublai Khan. My father used to teach about him from the Mimbar, you know? So there is a history, and we should also understand that in this history, there were a set of people that were not so included, and that was the Europeans. They could trade along the Silk Road. We hear about people like Marco Polo. Marco Polo was a thief, a horrible thief. He stole so much from the East to bring it to the West because the West was stupid and ignorant about everything, right? And he brought it to that space. So when you hear about that, what did the Europeans do in order to crush the growth of Islam, in order to crush the existence of Africans dealing with Asians, Asians dealing with Arabs inside some kind of peaceful manner? They crushed the Silk Road. When you have the Eastern Sea Trading Company come up from the Queen of England, she established that thing in order to usurp the power that was shared amongst people along the Silk Road. And so adjusting the trade routes of the world was like core. It was an element that had to be done. They had to destroy what our ancestors, hell, none of us came from Europe directly, even if we got some in it, we didn't come from there. So what our ancestors were doing to pass Islam along, to pass trade along, using gold as a standard, trading with one another. The reason we have a fiat currency, it was all destroyed in the effort to control how we deal with one another. So now I was sitting in Gwangju, China. I was there about, now it's been 7 years, 7 years ago. And I was sitting at the Canton Fair in Gwangju. I used to live down that way for like 2 years. And I was tired. I was just tired. And I sat down in a chair because they had these big massage chairs. And there was a huge movie theater type thing in front of me. And it was playing these beautiful lands and all this stuff. And what I saw was that they were rebuilding the Silk Road. And at the time, they had only put $52 billion in infrastructure along the Silk Road. To date, they put $4.7 trillion worth of infrastructure on the Silk Road. And I realized that what was happening was the world was literally changing.
Say that again. At how much had they put at this point?
Today, it's $4.2 trillion. Trillion dollars. To date, every African country belongs to the New Silk Road Project. To date, every Middle Eastern country belongs to the New Silk Road Project. To date, almost every Asian country, with the exception of India, belongs to the New Silk Road Project. And the United States' involvement is basically by building roads from Afghanistan that connect into the New Silk Road, right? So that means that everybody's actually involved. Everybody, even the people preaching against it, are involved. Why would the West preach against the New Silk Road? Because they are afraid that if it modernizes itself, if it takes itself to the level, it will destroy the entire shipping routes that they've put together. And this will reverse the world back to where we were, but in a way that can't be destroyed so easily. So what you're looking at is not so much a destruction of the West, but the rise of everything that was before the West became the West. And I believe that we have an incumbent responsibility to take what we have and bring it back to this space and play a major role in its establishment. And we need to make sure that our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren have permanent places of authority and influence along the Silk Road. It is literally the biggest thing on earth. It is a $20 trillion project that is $4 trillion in. And we have to have a part of it. I'm not talking about the money. Don't think about the money. Think about the strategic positioning of African-American Muslims and their ability to survive and thrive in a future that is inevitable. And so we're here. We're here building in Cargo's Dry Port. We have a project going there. We've built a company. I don't know if, I think if I try to show you outside my window, it might be jaded by the sun. But if you can see outside my window, I'm right across the street from the president's house. This is where I live. Our office is right down the way. We're inside one of the newest and most advanced facilities in Central Asia. We are in the Islamic Financing District. So we sit with the head of the IFSB, the Islamic Financing Securities Board out of Malaysia that has its office right next to ours. We're also next by the International Halal Food Authority. And also we're next to the Islamic Bank and the head of the IDB, the Islamic Development Bank out of Saudi Arabia. Its head sits on the same floor with us. I mean, I walk out every day and I bang on their door every day and say, let's go make salat together. And we go make salat in a little prayer room together in the meeting room inside the Islamic Finance Center, which is the Islamic Finance hub for the Silk Road, right? So what are we doing here? The reason that I think it's significant is because we are the first African Americans to be involved at this level. Period. It is a historical concept. The reason that I mentioned and to tie this back into some basic things, the reason I mentioned things like gold and stuff, because the gold that's being pumped out of a lot of places is pumping out of here. They have a gold mine here. One of our brothers and his family own two of the gold mines here. There's a gold mine. I mean, literally, when I tell you, when I kid you not, when I tell you I can walk to the gold mine and go and they'll drive me in, sit me down, and I can purchase whatever I want for the lowest possible price that you can purchase gold on the planet. I have another brother in Mauritania. That's my brother, my actual brother, my brother-in-law. He has gold mines in Mauritania, literal gold mines, literal. I mean, they sift, they go, they dig, they pull it out. They separate it. They use all the different processes that are there. There's several different processes, but they do surface gold. They do deep gold drilling. And I literally can go to the gold market, like where the guys who come from the field pick up the gold and walk to sell it, and I can intercept them and buy it from them. I give them just a little more than they get at the market, and it's 10% of what anybody's getting in any other market. So this is about us having access at the core and not having to deal through other people to get what we want. You know, I have the same project in Georgia. We have Freedom Village, Georgia. We're trying to establish an entire county in our control. We have 6,000 people in that county. and we've taken over 205 acres, and we're buying off another 3,000 acres, which is bigger than the county seat. And we're developing over there. We left over here to develop the manufacturing plants that would help us to develop more robotic machinery to work in Georgia. And we really are. It's not like a dream.
No,
We
no,
really
that's how I was introduced to you in that project. I was on a webinar with you, and you were really showing what was going on. I viewed what you guys are doing. I was thoroughly impressed, and this is what I told our group last week, that when we were having that conversation, that I was impressed thoroughly by what you were doing. And also, you and I had a conversation since you've been in Kazakhstan. And again, like what you're sharing with us this evening, this is definitely, you dropped the mic, man. It's a it's very important for the movement. And like you said, it's not so much the money, it's being in position, it's getting in the way in a position where we can be in a position to capture that flow of what's happening and take advantage of it. And we are uniquely positioned to do so in terms of our, like you said, throughout Africa, every country in Africa. I have a lot of our members are in Africa. We have uh, a number of countries there that we deal with, and I plan on taking a visit there. But you got me wanting to come to Kazakhstan now.
Hey man, listen, let me tell you something about here in Kazakhstan. I'm gonna tell you one thing I love the most, man. The men here are men. Like, there's a whole
That's
brotherhood
right.
thing that's serious, man. They take the brotherhood very serious. Once you in, you in. The Kazakhs treat you like a brother.
Right.
We go out to the sauna. We hang out in the like the old Russian commercials you see.
Right. 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 Right.
Yeah, we actually do that, and then like hang out, eat big plates of like horse meat and regular meat and everything else. I brought Imam Furkan and Imam Nadim to Kazakhstan. So I brought Imam Furkan, Imam Nadim to Kazakhstan, along with Brother Jamal from over in the West End. And they came over here, and I asked who was eating horse meat. Imam Nadim was like, "I'll eat some. We'll eat together. Like, we eat the big plate." Imam Furkan and Brother Jamal was like, "Nope, not touching it." Yeah, but come back. I got a place down the street that cooks a whole lamb for you and brings it to your house.
I love it.
Roast the whole lamb. That's
Wow.
for you whenever you come. Allah, that's for you whenever you come.
All right.
That's my promise. Before Allah put me in my grave, if you show up in
No,
Kazakhstan, you will be sitting in the sauna and you'll be eating an entire lamb.
I got you. I don't know if I eat the whole thing, but yeah, I love lamb. Okay. All right. That's a deal. That's a deal. Farouk, I'm so happy you joined us on this tonight. Uh, that's what we're here for. We're here to hear what you really dropped the mic tonight with some great information. Definitely, we need to start thinking in that order. And there are a lot of us who have some cash flow like we never had before in our lives. And we need to know how to, what options do we have outside of our current ecosystem, because we don't want to get locked in here. We need to put it to work in places like you were just suggesting. Um, this is big. I want us to stay in contact. I want to have you on again and again. And when I say I'm coming to see you, I'm not joking. I'm
No,
coming.
no, no.
Inshallah, I'll be in Kazakhstan.
What I'd like you to do is this. So if you come, bring your camera, right?
Always.
Because I'm going to take you down to a place called Nur Kent. And Nur Kent is next to Cargos. And I'm saying these words because I hope people would actually write them down,
Right.
and then they can do their own independent research. I don't want to be the source. I want to be the source of making you aware. I don't want to be the source of the knowledge. The knowledge is out there. Grab it. Just let me be the source of making you aware. And Cargos Dry Port is the largest dry port in the world. It is the heart of the New Silk Road on the land side. The land side is two roads. It's a one belt, one road. So it's one sea belt and one physical road and railroad. Cargos sits here on the Chinese border, just like this. This is Cargos Kazakhstan, Cargos China. It's one city. When you come through the border control in Cargos, from Kazakhstan, you end up in Cargos. And then you can cross over into China before you get to the border control. So you're crossing China in the city without ever having to actually get a Chinese visa, and you just walk back into Kazakhstan. This is one of the reasons why I'm really asking brothers and sisters, like, either invest in the projects and Cargos or make your plans to come live there. They're building a brand new airport. And like I said, it's the largest dry port. From that dry port, you can get on a train. Like, you can put your products on a train. They will be in China in 1 day. They will be in Vietnam in 2 days. They will be in anywhere in Southeast Asia within less than 4 days. You put your products on the same train, you can go to Uzbekistan, India, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan in 3 days. You can have your products sitting in Turkey in 4 days. You can have your products sitting in Germany in 10 days. 10 days by rail without ever touching the sea. You put your stuff on that train and your stuff is sitting in Germany. And from Germany, it can be in all the way down in Portugal.
Okay, hey, Faruq, what year is this going to be complete?
It's done. This is not the future. Like, literally, like, look, and there's stories about it, there's everything else. It's just when people don't know, they don't know where to look. Cargos East Gate, that exists. It's done. So what's left now? They have the main port, and they have a transportation center here. Like, the transportation center feeds into the main port. By the main port, there is a road. The road is brand new. They just built the whole road. When I tell you that 75% of all the traffic between Asia and Europe and Africa is going through that one narrow corridor. And if I told you that I have 27 acres on that corridor, and why did I do it? I went down, you go on Facebook, you look at the picture, I changed my cover picture on Facebook to show when I took the brothers down to the East Gate. We're standing on the border, literally on the border. The reason that I did it was to create a place for brothers to build their factories, because my obsession is that we get into manufacturing from the raw material.
That's right.
We have here a family that is a partner for us. By Allah, they are beautiful people, beautiful Muslims, and they own coal mines, they own other iron ore mines, they own everything else. You build a factory there, and you can manufacture whatever you want from the raw material and ship it anywhere in this side of the world. And it will be there in less than 2 weeks. It's like, you can't even think about the possibilities that offer. Then we're building 3,000 units in Cargos itself. So inside of that special economic zone, we're building units that have commercial units on the bottom and residential units on the top in these beautiful little neighborhoods that we design, right? And that's the intent, to invite brothers and sisters to say, come, buy the house. I'm selling it. Let me tell you what I'm selling the houses for. I'm selling them for $18 a square foot. You can't find it nowhere.
Right.
What we did is, the first thing we did is we're in the process. We're doing this right now. This is what we're actually doing that should be finished within the next 3 to 4 months. We're putting a brick manufacturing plant next to the cement factory. So by the transportation hub, there's a cement factory. We're building the brick factory next to the cement factory. And we're transporting wood from Russia that we because we mill wood in Georgia. We make brick in Georgia.
I saw you guys doing that. That's right.
And we make an industrial brick. We went all down to Brazil, India, everywhere to learn the skill, get certified, buy the equipment, everything. So we now are making our own brick at the rate of 40,000 brick a day. That's enough to build an entire building that has 9 1,000 square foot units in it. per day. And then we are taking and we're milling all of our own lumber for cabinetry, floors, roofing, and roof joists and everything like that, all out of one factory. That's why we can sell it so cheap. So my thing was offered to the brothers and say, hey, look, I'm selling it for 32, but I'll sell it to the brothers for 18 because that's right around my cost. And then what I'll do is if we take costs and then we build, then we share our risk. We go into it. The government has offered us 55 for every square foot. And their thing is like, look, don't even put we just put a sink in the kitchen. We don't even put the counters. And they pay the money. Boom. So if you want to sell it, okay. If you want to buy off a couple of units and then keep one for you and your family and another commercial unit for your business, and then start building that future for you and your business, this is what I'm here for. There's nobody else doing this for us, not a human being on earth. This is literally the only opportunity to do it. And this is very true. And I'm not shooting shot. I'm saying, hey, make a trip to come round trip on Aeroflot when the flights open up is $800 round trip.
I'll be there.
Get on the flight, fly here. I'm your brother. I'm saying I'll take care of you. I'm in a high-rise apartment complex. We got a place up here that's got apartments that they rent out for like hotels. We'll get you in a nice, comfortable place. It's across the street from write this down, Hazrat Sultan Mosque. It is the largest mosque in Central Asia. So, brother, as soon as you arrive here, I got somebody to pick you up from the airport. They'll drive you over to the apartment, and you will hear the adhan while you're looking out the window, calling back at you. Then we will get in the car after I give you a day to relax and take you down to the site. And when you get down to the site, I will show you where you can put your factory. We've already made the deal. They will give you the land. No cost. Give it as long as you show you got money, a plan, and the ability. Those three things. Money, plan, ability. And I will help you with ability.
With the ability. That's all we need. That's right.
Okay.
That's
I'll
right.
help you with the ability. So there's opportunity for us to build robotics factory there. There's opportunity for us to build construction factory, construction materials. There's opportunity for us to build rebar plant. We need a rebar plant. This is core stuff. This is real hardcore stuff. There's an opportunity for us to do everything. And there's even an opportunity, brother, and this is what I mean. This is what I'm talking about. I don't want to knock anything. I'm just saying there's opportunity for us to say, let's build a gold bar factory there. Let's mint our own bar, stick our own Bismillah on the top of that joint, and then start selling it to our brothers in order to retain their wealth and use it as a way to bring money into the space to build more manufacturing capacity. This isn't just for China. This is our manufacturing capacity for all of Eurasia. All Europe, Asia, and Africa, we can build factories that go everywhere from there. So that's, I don't want to take up too much. I'm sorry, but I'm kind of, but seriously, the idea is that this is real. It's here. Come see us. We will show you something you have never seen before. And I will show you that there is a place for those of us who want to work. Stop putting our money and our time just in one place. We build a building in the U.S. They want to screw us for that. Everybody from the building commission want to give us a hard time, make our life hell. Your money will go so far here, and you'll achieve so much, and use this as a hopping point. So you want to go business anywhere else? We'll do it. You want to do business in Turkey? I'll help you. We have relationships in Turkey. We have relationships in Malaysia. We have relationships in other places. You can use it as a hub to go to everywhere you want. You want to build in Ethiopia, Kenya, Mombasa, wherever, Egypt. We're doing work in Egypt now. We have the work in Cairo. We're there in, we were in Muhaddisin, but we're outside of Muhaddisin now. We're in Giza. Okay? So we're really using this as a hub, and we're really getting things done, brother. And I could almost cry because of my sincerity of trying to give people the opportunity to come. There's so many brothers that are really just selling crap to our people that are ignorant. I'm not, man. I'm really trying to give us an angle, but brothers got to wake up and see the value of it.
Hey, Faruq, I appreciate the time you've given us. I definitely appreciate this information. And when I say that I'm coming, I'm putting plans together. It's a done deal. As soon as this thing opens up, as far as leaving the country, You'll be the first place I'll come, and it won't be long. We need to talk again, you and I. I got a couple of business partners. I like to have that conversation because I think when they hear this, because I'm going to share this with them, what you've told us today, um, I'm excited. Just let me say that because honestly, a lot of us are looking for somewhere to put the wealth that we've been building and that flow of capital that we have that's either already coming that is growing. We want a place to put it. You can't. I mean, what do we do with it? And like you said, you do something in some of these places, particularly here, they're going to screw you for it. And why not be where it's all happening and be in places? We have people. My wife's from Ethiopia. I got people in Ethiopia. I got people in in Indonesia. My wife, my son's daughter is, so we got, I mean, my son's wife, daughter-in-law. So you got an international family here. My other son's wife is of Indian background, so
You
she,
don't like me, brother Yasin. I got the daughter-in-law from Ghana, and got a son-in-law from Turkey. I think I want 11 languages in my grandbaby. What my grandbaby say things out. What you say, baby? I
that's
listen.
right. That's exactly. I told my mother years ago, I said, we're going to have a United Nations in this family here.
There
We,
you go, man.
you
That's
know,
exactly listen. Listen, yeah, brother Yasin, on the personal level, there's a small group of brothers that think the same way. And quite frankly, I believe that we should be a lot closer to one another.
I think you're
You
right.
know,
I
we should
agree.
be a lot closer to one another. So, I mean, like when you come, or even before you come, I'm always open for these calls. You tell me when it is, and inshallah, I'll always stop and put priority on our people. And by the way, when I even let's shrink the our people down even more, is that group of brothers that realize that we have to build an international position
Right.
in order to survive, in order to and
That's
definitely
right.
to so
That's
that
right.
that's a very that and I just narrowed that down to like maybe
That's
20
right.
people.
No,
So
yeah, yeah, yep.
if that's the case, then like I said, I'm extremely available in
All
order
right.
to start putting things together and make it. We've already started. We already got 2 or 3 brothers. We got them in the mix. We've been bopping around with them over the last year. I've been with them to Egypt. We've been with them to they went out the cargo. Like I said, look at the picture. They're standing there on the gate. We took them there already. We already registered their businesses here in Kazakhstan. So like I cannot explain how serious I am. And the last thing I'm gonna give you is this: we've built a professional management company here. Like a lot of people see me, they don't know that I've done 25 years in the technology industry, that I've been a software developer, I've been a business analyst, I've been a project manager, a program manager, portfolio manager for Cox Enterprises, for Turner Broadcasting. I've done work for all those big guys when it comes to project. I've got the resume. That resume is
Right.
there. I'm not
Right.
interested in it right now, but it's there.
Right. I got you.
We manage big projects. We're managing 280,000 acre farm here. I did say that right, 280,000 acre. We're managing a 280,000 acre farm here. We've got 75 employees here now. And that management firm is meant to provide the absolute best opportunity possible for brothers who come to build business over here to make sure that it's managed in a way that will make them prosperous. So I just want to know that brothers, that we have built the entire infrastructure, the base, that everything here. Just come work with your interests. Bring your interest, bring your a level of finance with you, because we finance. We put in almost $500,000 into our insertion into the space.
Okay.
You know,
Got
so
you.
brothers need to come
Got you.
willing
That's right.
for their part. I will reduce the money. I will reduce it because I will give you anything we've already paid for and built. You won't have to go do all of that work.
Right. Right.
I will reduce it significantly so that you can put your investments directly towards the things that will actually produce for you.
Got it.
You
Yep.
know,
Yep. I
that's
got
the,
you.
as a Muslim, I think I would like to think I go to bed at night and I actually ask Allah. I don't sleep much, but even
Right.
my wife is here to tell you that at night I'm worried the most, thinking, are the things that I'm doing truly of benefit to the Muslims? Are they truly of benefit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Will it really get me into Jannah? This is my purpose. This is my goal. And
No.
I really wish brothers would take advantage of it more.
No. No. Alhamdulillah. Well, you've definitely shared a lot with us tonight, and I'm in. You know, I'm going to be talking to my son. You know, my son, two of my sons are my business partners, and then
Okay.
I had a couple other people who have also done international business. But what you're doing is at a different level, and I think that we need to cooperate, collaborate, and come together and do things. And I appreciate your offer, man. And I'm not going to let it just sit there. I'm going to be following up with you on that,
Yeah, yeah,
inshallah.
yeah.
Thank
I like to mention something. Alhamdulillah, I'm truly excited. I know the brothers that you spoke of, Brother Nadeem, Brother Jamal, know all of them. And my son, he's a contractor. Well, I got many sons. So I'm going to definitely let them see this video because this is truly a blessing. It's well needed. And this video is going to be shared, inshallah. So Jazakallah khairan.
Thank you, Brother Farouk. Jazakallah khair. Yasin Jazak. Look forward to speaking to you real soon. And we're going to reach out to you real soon so we can have a conversation sideline, all right?
All right. Thank you for having me, brother Yasin. I'm gonna
No,
bow out
thank
right
you for
now.
joining, man. Thank you for joining.
I'm gonna get some breakfast.
It was a surprise. Go ahead. Thank you, man. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
All right,
Walaikum salam.